Poetry is a genre of literature that poses a lot of problems to literature students and some literature teachers alike. So, this video teaches us how we can review and appreciate any poem on our own without giving us any problem or without relying on our teacher. It's on this note I welcome us to Literature Hub 247, a free online literature class. So, this video is titled How to Demystify Poetry, and this is a pragmatic approach. This is a pragmatic approach to demystifying poetry. Let's go into the class. Poetry is a genre of literature that poses a lot of problems to students and even some teachers. A literature student can read a drama or prose text on his own and at least have an idea of the storyline without the teacher. A literature student can read a novel or drama text without relying on his or her teacher and at least get some things there, but poetry is not like that. It is, however, somewhat difficult to interpret and understand the discourse of a perceived simple poem by the students. This mysterious knot can be untied following these tips. So if you follow these tips, we should be able to review any poem and understand what the poem is saying. Number 1, study the life history of the poet. Study the life history of the poet. The majority of the writers, including the poet, write on their life experiences. For example, any writer or poet from South Africa's preoccupation is apartheid. That is, any writer from South Africa, majority of them write on apartheid because that is what many of them experience. And that's what they would like to write on, either poem, drama, or prose. Let's cite some instances. A poem from Sierra Leone's subject matter will be on the 1991-2002 Civil War, that is 1991 to 2002 Civil War. Poems written after 2002 will be on that Civil War. The Dining Table, written by Aluwin Banabon, The Song of Women of My Land by Umar Farouk Sise are good examples. These are poets from Sierra Leone, and the discourse of the poems are on the 1991 to 2002 Civil War. Also, Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night by Danla Thomas, Mr. Poplar Fair 1879 by G.M. Hopkins are good examples of poems written based on life experiences of the poets. Studying their life history will give us some ideas about their works. Though, Wyek has said that we should not be teaching, that it's not necessary to teach our students the life history of a poet or an author. It's just because these students waste their time during the exam writing the life history of the author. But we also realize that this helps them to have the idea of what they are going to read about the work of the author, and it can also encourage them to become a writer. What we have to do is just to tell them that they don't need it for the exam, it's just for their own consumption. Number 2, 5 minutes to the difficult words. 5 minutes to the difficult words in the poems will draw us near to understanding the discourse. Some words used may even be names of places. These meanings will take us to the poetic meanings, because some words used in a poem might be just a name of a city or of a place. So if we check it, we now realize that they are mentioning a place there that is not a vocabulary. Let's look at Bath by D.H. Lawrence. Pontefacio mentioned in the poem is not an English word, but a place in Italy. The Pontefacio, this is a medieval stone, close Prandru, segmental arch bridge over the Arno River in Florence, Italy. And now, that place houses a lot of lock-up shop. for commercial purposes. Number 3, identify the poetic devices. By identifying the poetic devices in a poem and understanding them, the discourse of the poem is simplified. These devices are the major ingredients of poetry, and they make understanding of poems difficult. We only need to relate it to the subject matter. So let's follow these guidelines, and we see that we will be able to appreciate and review any poem. So the first one is that we study the life history of the poet. We study the life history of the poet. By doing that, we have the idea of what the poet might write about. Another one is finding meaning to the difficult words in the poem. So this also will give us some information about what the poem is trying to pass across to us. And the last one is identify the poetic devices. Identify the poetic devices. So if you go through these guidelines and we understand it very well and we follow it, we should be able to appreciate, interpret, and review any poem. So if you are just joining this platform, try and click on the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you'll be part of this class, and whenever any video is produced, you are going to be notified. Like this video, share it. You are free to share it on any social media platform. Invite your friends and colleagues to join us. If you have any question, do not hesitate to ask your question. Send it to the comment section and it will be attended to. Thank you and God bless. Let's meet in another class. Let's meet in the next class.